Hello, this is Arunava Chaudhuri and you are on my YouTube channel Arunfoot. A total of 170 coaches have applied for the Indian football men's national team head coach's job. Impressive number, but not as many as last year. At the time, the AIFF was looking for a replacement for Igor Stimac. The AIFF will meet today on Wednesday, July the 23rd. The technical committee will come together with the head of National Team Department, Subrat Pal, as well as Technical Director Syed Shabir Pasha. They will create a short list, and that short list will then be presented to the executive committee to decide on who should be the next India head coach. So it's an interesting process of cutting down from 170 to 5, maybe 7, maybe 10 coaches and then deciding who's the best. Because there's some interesting candidates who have applied. Some people who we know, some who come as a certain surprise. And therefore, it's a very interesting mix of coaches who want to be Indian national team coaches. I've heard again and again in my lives, why are good profile, high profile coaches interested in the India job? And I always say, whatever the situation within the All India Football Federation, whatever the situation in and around the Indian national team, it's still an interesting job. It's a challenging job. And I did a video yesterday where I looked at and highlighted that if I look at the names that I've seen, some are not in the public domain, but interesting to say the least. To me, Stephen Constantine and Antonio Lopez Habas stand out. Again, yesterday's video, have a look at it. I explain it in detail. Stephen has been India coach twice, has the experience of managing India even in difficult situations and conditions. And Senor Habas, the most successful coach in Indian football over the last 11 years since the ISL started. The most successful coach in the ISL. And last season now, after the CAS hearing, also I-League champions. But who are the others? Interesting to see a coach that a lot of fans seem to have a liking for is German coach of Croatian origin, Petr Segrt, former coach of Afghanistan, the Maldives and Tajikistan. Interesting coach, interesting profile, but lacks the knowledge of Indian football. ISL coaches have applied, or former ISL coaches, I would say. On one side, Lobera, current coach of Odisha FC, who of course successfully coached FC Goa and Mumbai City. But Lobera to me is similar to Manolo Marquez. Very successful coach, has his trusted players, and those trusted players, he would not have an Ahmed Jahu or a Murtada Fall. Robbie Fowler, Liverpool legend and coach of East Bengal FC in the first season of the ISL. He's also applied, besides, from Australia, legend and great Harry Kewell. Yeah, the list gets more and more interesting. Coming to the Indian coaches, Jamshedpur FC coach Khalid Jamil has applied, as is known in the public domain. Sanjoy, who said that he would apply, has applied, and former India women's coach Santosh Kashyap. Meanwhile, Stigos Vergetis, former coach of Punjab FC, has also applied, as well as last season's coach of Mohammedan Sporting, Chernyshov. So you see, there's an interesting mix of coaches who have applied, who want to be the India coach. And yeah, it is, as I said, a mix of different coaches. Further, one could add former Myanmar coach, a German in Antoine Hey, has also applied, as Kayo Sanardi former Brazil under-17 coach, according to Marcus Magala, who also said that Jordi Vinales, former Barca reserve team coach, has also applied. So there are very, very interesting names. But the question for the AIFF is, who fulfills the requirements that the AIFF have at this moment? Who also falls within the AIFF budget? Because that is a conversation I think that they would be having with the candidates. Therefore, they've asked candidates to come back, what kind of remuneration do they expect? And the coach should be appointed quickly. That's what the AIFF wants to do, because the AIFF wants to play 2 friendlies in the September window. And the AIFF has not given up on the AFC Asian Cup in 2027. 2 matches against Singapore in October, and Hong Kong, and then Bangladesh, and then Hong Kong. All to play for in these qualifiers. What do you think about the AIFF's search for a new India head coach? Who will coach the Blue Tigers in September? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, like, share and subscribe Arun Foot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias. Visit arunfoot.com. And I'll be back very soon. So now Chaudhuri signing off. Bye.